and like you think to yourself like, is this all worth it? Like trying to accomplish this or struggling for that. It's like at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. It'll be all forgotten.
You're wasting money for every single ad, but how do you target people that have the most probability of buying a house at the moment?
People from like Europe, Asia, and like pretty much everywhere else in the world, because that's where everyone like came from. Uh, they have around like 2% Neanderthal DNA in them. Hold their breath for 5 to 13 minutes, like underwater, and like they're able to swim and everything while doing that. So that's insane because trained pros and divers are able to hold their breaths for like on an average of 3 to 4 minutes. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Voro-Pod. We're approaching our 2-month anniversary of starting this podcast. Personally, I have noticed like a huge change in our ability to speak, and just like overall this podcast has gone dramatically better. We're not at a like elite level yet, but like personally, have you noticed anything, like any improvements in your own like speaking ability and stuff?
Um, I think, I think I've definitely gotten more like cool under pressure. Not as in like
More,
everything cool
yeah,
under pressure, but like talking wise at least. Like I'm
yeah,
able to like pronounce my words or speak slower or better.
yeah. Because like even speaking in front of a camera, we're not used to that, and in a way, like I feel like type of pressure on my heart, and like on my like I my heart starts to beat faster, like I start to breathe quicker, and it just like it gets harder to speak, I feel like, but I'm starting to get more comfortable, and it's like actually becoming enjoyable, you know? Checking your heart rate.
Yeah, it's at a cool 65.
65. No, mine's like 90 already.
Wait, let me check. How do you count it? You just count by the second?
Well, like I'm kind of used to it
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
because with my high school experience, I had to measure a bunch of like blood pressures, heart rates, and everything. And with CNA, it just I kind of got used to like actually
Yeah.
figuring it out like that. But yeah, by the time this episode drops, it's definitely going to be 2 months in. We had a little bit of break before last time filming. I think it's been like a week and a half. Usually we film like I feel like we filmed like every 4 days before. It's
No,
been a
it hasn't been a week and a half.
Yeah, last time we filmed was last Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. It's been a bit.
Are you
That's
sure?
like yeah, 100%. Cuz we used to film like every 4 days,
Huh.
and we've definitely had a bit of a
Really?
break. But
Oh, I remember. We were supposed to film Tuesday, right? And then, or like Tuesday or
yeah,
Friday. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just whatever worked
So,
out, but
we're not off
it's for
schedule.
good. It's for good reasons though. Yeah, the
No,
podcast is
that's
still going
good.
to post every single week. But it's for good reasons. Like personally, I've had to catch up on school, and not catch up, but like this is the final 2 weeks of school, and I finally finished all my homework, and I just have two finals left. So it just like feels nice to be done. So I had to have like that little break to like finish strong type of deal. But
I also had just a bunch of stuff. It's
yeah,
I've been just juggling like college and then a lot of stuff that I'm doing on the side all at once. So this was actually really good that I had a little extra time. I'm still stuffed with work, but
yeah.
I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now than I was probably Tuesday.
Been feeling really stressed lately, honestly. It's just
Yeah,
like I have a bunch of things I want to accomplish, and like I have
same.
to do it every single day. But like I don't like whenever I don't have the motivation to do it, I'm like, shoot, dude, I'm wasting time. Like I really don't want to do this, and like I get stressed and like think a bunch of thoughts in my head. And today before the podcast, I actually decided just to go on a walk around like in my neighborhood, and like I started running and stuff, but it was like nice to actually like clear my head. And I've been like kind of cooped up at home all day. It's cold outside, so I needed like that little break. And personally, like I my mind cleared up right now. I'm able to think
Yeah,
very well. It's like
that's
I
good.
definitely would have not thought like been able to think this good if I didn't go on that walk, but it was nice. Just I started to like think about like new ideas for filming on my YouTube channel, and then like this podcast and just a bunch of stuff. So It was nice just like getting my thoughts, the little vice I had. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I bet it's really cold over there right now. Pretty
yeah,
cold here.
it's 28 degrees outside. It was a little
Yeah,
bit
that's
nippy when I went out there.
yeah. It for here, it's like it's cold one day and then a couple days. Let's say a couple days, and then it's gonna
Hmm.
be like 50 or 60 a couple days, and you're like, it's like too hot when it's 50 or 60 because you're expecting like cold, and then it's
Right.
just like it's like warm. It's like yeah, it's nice. It's not too cold, but I I honestly like the cold. Like I think it's
Same.
even better.
It feels really nice right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm usually run warm, so it's nice. But what is the usual temperature over there in Missouri, like in the wintertime? Does it not get
Oh,
like into the 20s?
well, it definitely gets into the 20s. I just don't know like the average. Average is probably gonna be like 35 through 45 most likely through the
Yeah.
winter, but it's still December 9th, right? So
I feel like
there's
that's pretty deep into the winter though. Like
is that
we've been in the 30s and 20s for like a month already.
yeah, but
Like
doesn't
a
winter start like December 20 something?
21st technically,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure the coldest that it gets is in February, first couple 2 weeks of
Mhm.
February. It gets extremely cold. We had, it's normally when like the blizzards go by or like stuff like that, where it's like in the single digits at some point, or even in the
Yeah.
negatives at night. It's in the negatives at some point. But yeah, it's probably average is probably gonna be like 30, 35, most likely.
Yeah. It's probably about right for us as well. Same. But let's
Yeah,
get into the Bible verse of the day.
let's do it.
You ready for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 6 and 7. Oh, shit. I'm in King James Version. That one's confusing. I'll go to the easy one. Okay, so
Easy,
6 and
easy
7.
version for me.
Well, like, no, like, just easier to
I'm
read.
kidding.
Because I'm not
I'm
going to be
kidding.
like, thou shalt sin. It's just. Anyways, yeah. He might live 1,000 years twice over, but still not find contentment. And since he must die like everyone else, well, what's the use? All the people spend their lives scratching for food, but they never seem to have enough. And that one is honestly not the good one either. Let me read from this one right here. This is the one I liked. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over, but fails to enjoy his prosperity, do not all go to the same place. Everyone's toil is for their mouth, yet their appetite is never satisfied. You notice how that one just has like the extra oomph in it.
Think so?
I like
Yeah,
the second
I
like
felt
that.
it. I not only did I understand it more, it's just like, the words hit harder, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely has like those more powerful words. But
Hmm.
what do you think? How do
What do you
you
think?
what do you think about this verse? Like, how
Um,
does it hit you?
I you don't want it to be true. Like I don't want it to be true. Like
Right.
thinking about it, like I want to live longer, and like that verse is telling me that if I live longer, there's no point to it, and like it's just your same result. I guess that's what it's saying, right? But it's like why don't I just experience that and then not worry
Well, it's not
about it?
necessarily saying that. It's saying even if a person lives like super long, so this right here is putting in the context of like 2,000 years,
Hmm.
and he fails to enjoy his like prosperity, so like his success, not his like necessary success, but like just fails to enjoy life,
I yeah,
then what's the
I
point?
that makes more sense. I
Yeah.
guess I just missed that part. Yeah. Um, I guess that changes it a little bit.
But yeah, I definitely
So
understand what you meant by like it's kind of like it sucks that oh, honestly at the end of the day it doesn't matter what you accomplish. Like even if
yeah,
you are happy, everyone ends up in the same place like well, not same place, but you end up with the
yeah,
same
yeah,
outcome like you're dead. So
yeah,
that's like kind of the depressing part of it and like you think to yourself like is this all worth it? Like trying to accomplish this or struggling for that. It's like at the end of the day it doesn't even matter. It'll be all forgotten.
yeah. But I guess actually I'm gonna ask this question. Do you ever question yourself like that? Like like past of what you just said? You just said
Mhm.
that like
Like, what's the point?
yeah, what's the point? Do you ever question further than what you just explained? Like, does that jog it like in your head? It's just like, what's the point? Why am I doing this if I'm just wasting my time? Like, what's the point of me doing this? Does that ever get
Right.
past that?
So, what you mean by past that? Like,
Like it just like lingers in your head longer than just like you answering like I gotta live, or like something like that. Like a short answer to your head, but like it lingers in your head.
yeah,
Does
okay.
that happen?
Um, I feel like so it doesn't ever like linger afterwards, but for me, like a way I resolve it is I say like, what's the point? Like I'm wasting my time. Like I shouldn't even have to even like I shouldn't struggle to go to school, like get a job and everything like that. Like why put in all this effort? But then I think about it as like, what else am I supposed to do? Like if I'm on this earth, might as well try my hardest and do like the most I possibly can and enjoy myself and but still like following the laws of
Yeah.
the Bible and Christianity. So I kind it
Yeah.
doesn't linger in my head. Like I don't have like that depressive thought that like I should just give up and just like not do anything, you know, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's still gonna have the same outcome.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people nowadays they have no like point to live. They have no motivation. I guess you could say no motivation, but also when you like question them, they're like, I really don't care. Like what's the point? And
Right.
you keep questioning them, and they're just like, I don't care. Like, and they have no goals, no nothing. Like, it just doesn't matter to them because I don't understand what's the difference, because in my head it doesn't like I don't understand how you can like not want something, or like not like yeah not want something. Like, not only do I wanna, let's say I want to become successful, I want to be able to experience being on a yacht at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want that kind of experience, or I want to ride in a helicopter. Just the most random stuff, right? And it's just like those little stuff. I don't, and you ask them, and like they're just like they just don't care.
Like they don't want that.
It's not that they don't want it; they just don't care about it. Like it just doesn't like they don't care about
Yeah.
anything. Like, how does that like how does that make sense?
I don't know. Everyone goes through like I feel like difficult parts of their lives where they might experience something or like they have some type of hormones that like flood their brain and like it's like the depressive ones or something. I don't know the exact science behind it, but then you just kind of like not have the motivation to do anything. But yeah, I feel like everyone goes through that, and then it just depends how you try to push yourself out of it
Think
in a
so?
way. Yeah.
Do you think it's like, so you're saying it's like hormonal and it's just by luck, or is it
No.
like
So
based off like how you were raised, or maybe how you treated yourself in your head, how you talk to yourself in your head, like what you told yourself?
it obviously
What do you
could
think?
be a number of different factors because like there's mental health that's like a huge thing and
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of things that lead into it. It could be a like a traumatic event that happened in your life that like kickstarted it and then that like with the hormones like that's I don't think specifically a flood of hormones can just like it can cause depression like certain episodes of it but
Hmm.
like that's obviously not going to like cause something to like just completely change your life. It's going to be like a traumatic
Yeah.
event or yeah like the way you talk to yourself. There's like a bunch of different things that go into it and after they're all stacked up together then that can cause like a lot of things. It's just like years of, I guess, built up stress and stuff. I don't even know, but
Why do you think that that you actually, I don't think that's a good question to ask. Okay, let's get back to the Bible verse. No,
the
it's just
Bible verse.
it's
Oh, that was
no,
good. Yeah.
because yeah, no, it's just the question I was gonna ask is like I was like, why did you? But it's just the topic is just it's like it's gonna
So over
get
here
into
pressuring me, dude. I'm like,
right.
shoot, what do I
Yeah.
say about mental health?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So since we changed up the meaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I didn't understand, can you read the part that?
So the first part we kind of just talked about that how like all of us end up going to the same
Mhm.
place, but then the
Yeah.
second one's like everyone's toil is for their mouth yet their appetite is never satisfied. So
Okay.
people
Yeah.
like, you understand that, right? Like
Yeah.
how people
So
like do stuff, but like they're
yeah,
never satisfied and they're not enjoying their life because of that. Like that kind of like bounces off the first part of the verse.
yeah. Whenever I think it's like the excuse me, maybe it's like a stereotype or have you heard like the stereotype? Oh, he's rich but he's not happy. You know, you
Yeah,
heard about it. He's rich but he's not happy.
money
No,
doesn't bring you
yeah,
happiness and
yeah,
stuff.
like that. So the stereotype is kind of like I think where it kind of meets because when you keep on working and you don't put any other like thought about I don't know your mental health, not even your mental health, just like for yourself or for your family or people around you, I guess, or even for yourself. Let's just say for yourself. Let's just say for yourself. Um, you kind of get into like non-happy place where you're just always looking for the next best thing, and the next best thing is more money, or a better car, or
Hmm.
a bigger house. It could be literally anything, right? New shoes or whatever, and you
Something
don't.
that just like you think that will fulfill it, or like something
Yeah,
that brings you somewhat joy of having it.
I guess temporary joy because it doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like bring you like mental happiness. It just gives you like a little like excitement, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Gives you
like
a little
what
bit of
people say,
excitement.
like materialistic things. Like it
Yeah.
makes you happy for a little bit, but then once you get used to it, like it just doesn't bring joy anymore. Because like when you look at massive houses, you're like, dude, I would have so much fun if I lived in that house. And then
Yeah.
once you experience it and like stay there for 2 years, it ends up being just home. It's not
Yeah.
like something like, oh man, this is so nice, and you have that same excitement,
Yeah.
but you just get dull to it. So that's what you kind of meant,
You
right?
get used to everything, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a basic. Let's not talk about everything, but almost everything you get used to.
What do you mean? What do you
Most
not
stuff.
get? I feel like everything you
Torture.
get used to.
You think you
Well, if
get
you get
used to
tortured
torture?
enough, you get tortured. Like it's
You think so?
pain. People
I
get
mean,
used to
you
pain.
might get a little bit more tolerant, but I don't think you're gonna get used to. But it's like okay,
It's
whatever,
okay. It
whatever.
definitely gets less intense because the first
Yeah,
time you experience it, it's gonna be the worst. But then afterwards, it starts getting dull and dull, and then you start like getting used to it. That's like the same concept. Like
but
you'll still
I
be
don't think you
excited to
lose
be in a
all
big
sense.
No, you don't lose all,
Maybe, yeah,
but like even with the context of the house, like you don't lose all excitement going to it. It's just not the same as like the
yeah.
first
I
time you
guess,
experience it.
yeah, I guess. So yeah,
Bringing in
yes,
torture over here.
yeah. So yeah, you just keep like striving for something better, and you never have like that time to rest or actually to be happy. That's why. Have you seen? hmm, Have you? Huh. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if I can
Just
say
say it.
this,
Just say
but
it.
have you seen the podcast where Andrew Tate was talking to women about how a life without kids is pointless?
Yeah,
He
I
said that
like saw
like
clips of it.
yeah, so he was saying like, oh, a life without kids is vapious because you could be sitting with your Gucci bags in your nice house, but you're not gonna have anybody to take care of you. You know?
Or pass on your legacy too.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of fits in because like you're gonna have money, but are you gonna have happiness, or are you just gonna be there by yourself? You know.
Right. So
But
you're trying to say that materialistic things don't bring happiness, but the family life does?
oh no, materialistic stuff definitely brings
Okay.
happiness, but
Because
money definitely
I
buys
was gonna
happiness.
catch
I'm
you,
telling you,
I was gonna catch you
money
lacking there
definitely.
because you, in previous episodes, you definitely said a bunch of times that like, oh, I'd rather have like the money stuff, and
Oh,
that's
of
what brings
course,
me happiness. And then
of
like
course.
you were talking like this, I'm like, huh, interesting. I'm gonna bring this up right now, see if
No,
I
no,
can
no,
catch you
no.
lacking.
You can't catch me. Nah. So I understand sacrifice for for money. I understand it, but like there's too much greed, and then there's like there's like parts where you want to reach something, so you sacrifice, and then there's a part where you sacrifice everything for money. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like a balance. You gotta find the right balance for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I know that some people love like being busy and staying after. There are people for sure that brings
Well,
them
yeah, like staying
happiness.
like being productive, just like gives you that like fulfillment in life. Because if you're
Yeah.
not, like, I don't know, for me personally, that's how it is. Like, whenever I'm on my phone or wasting time, like just doing random stuff, yeah, it's nice to like relax and everything. But I have that like thought in my head, like, what am I doing? Like, I could be doing this right now and like actually accomplishing something. It's like that, like little bit of like drive in the back of your head. But
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone has that.
Well, everybody
Just like,
has it, but some people are, I think, easier on themselves in a way of like they just don't care enough to listen to that thought. Yeah.
yeah, I
Some
guess.
people are just like, oh, I don't care to listen to myself, and then that voice, I guess, gets quieter and quieter every
Mm-hmm.
day or every time that you wanna do something, and
Your consciousness.
it just goes gone. At one point, it just disappears. Right.
Right. But
So
or
what's up? No.
no, go ahead. I was about to go to a different topic real
Uh,
quick, but if you have something, keep going.
no. So I think we answered the Bible of the word.
Yeah, the Bible verse.
Bible of
This is
the
honestly the
verse.
most we've
Yeah.
talked about on the Bible verse, and it's like actual like deep meanings. Because
I
before we
think
kind of talked
yeah,
about like business or something like that. We just
yeah.
related the Bible to business, which kind of whack.
We still did
But
though. We still did today. Not even gonna lie, we
how?
did. Business is work, I guess. Still related a little bit
Oh, at the
to
very
it.
end. Well,
Yeah.
that's just being fulfilled, if that's what fulfills you.
Yeah. I mean, this leaves like that Bible verse like just leaves it open like to a lot. I feel like if we really wanted to, we could like keep talking about it. If we
Right.
wanted to. But yeah, I think we explained it well enough to
Mm-hmm.
to move on. So
So
you got a story?
I got a little story. So this is what happens at college. There's a bunch of whack stuff that just happens in college when I'm walking around, like to classes. There's like people stand, like they have like desks set up, like trying to talk to people, like, or some people are filming YouTube videos or advertisements and stuff like that.
Really?
But yeah,
I've
like
never seen that
I
before.
I was literally got out of a class and I was walking to the gym and there's like a camera set up while like on the path to the gym on the sidewalk, and some guy approaches me. He's like, "Hey, you want to help us with an advertisement?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess. Why not?" And then he just had me like do smelling salts and like react in front of the camera. But this was like 2 months ago already. It's just like random stuff. And then there's people with like Bible booklets and stuff like that handing them out. It's like, God bless you. And then I always say thank you. God bless you too. But like there's just people that do that. And then like I saw a desk with um let's talk about abortion and just like random controversial topics like that
Yeah.
that people just have on the side of the sidewalks. But this particular time I was walking to the gym again, but there was a kid just like in the like there's like a place where a bunch of trees are, and he's like hunched over on the floor, and there's like squirrels, a couple of them like walking around him, and he's over there like hunched over like talking to them or something, and they're all approaching him. And I don't know if he had something in his hands, but like as I was walking by I noticed like everyone's turning their heads towards his direction, and he's over there like being some like squirrel god or something, because there's like a bunch of squirrels like around him and they're like all running over there. I was
Hmm.
like, what the heck is happening right now? I was about to film, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna let this kid be. I thought that was pretty
Uh,
cool that he just like enjoying nature in a way, giving the squirrels his nuts.
yeah.
But
You told me about the guy on the bike. A couple of days. Was that at
oh
college too?
yeah, that was me driving home from college. But I need to pull up what kind of bike this is. Um, Shoot, if I can even find it.
Was it like a moped or was it like a regular bike?
No, it was like a really small bike.
Just a regular bike, kid's
Yeah,
bike.
it wasn't like a kid's bike, but it was like super low, and it just didn't look like he fit on it. He was like this on it, and
Uh,
this guy was massive. Like he had a super tight suit on, and like I
uh,
don't know, it looked super stretched out and everything because he was like popping out of it. But yeah, I thought it was funny. He's riding on the side of the street with like a suit on, slicked back hair. It was definitely a sight to see. I don't know. There's a bunch of weird experiences that you see every single day. But yeah, I
how
just thought
were
it was
those
funny.
smelling salts?
Smelling salt's really weak.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that, if it became weak since they were like doing a bunch of videos. Cause I actually saw their advertisement on YouTube. Like I was just like scrolling through YouTube Shorts and I found him and I'm like, yo, hold up, that looks familiar. So I go on the page and then I find the video of me. But like here they have a bunch of different ones at Boise
Yeah.
State, so I like they probably just like used it already and it like, doled down.
Mm.
But yeah, it wasn't that strong because definitely smelled like brand new smelling
You've
salts and that
had
stuff. Like
smelling
yeah,
salts?
it hits
Oh.
you so hard.
Have you
That
used
one
Have you used them to work out?
at the gym, no, never.
No, really.
Mm-mm.
Would you want to try that? Like,
Honestly, maybe, but I feel like it does. I don't know. I've never tried it, so I can't say if it works for me or not.
mm.
But I would think it would just like knock me out, and I wouldn't want to like hit my set. Not like knock me out, but like
To make you feel sick, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, in a way.
Oh. I've
Like it
never tried
definitely
a
did not
smelling
feel
salt
good.
before.
It
Do you
just
think
burns your
maybe
nose.
it's not like the mint? You know, like when you smell really strong mint, or you like chew really strong gum, like with cold water or something. Does it feel like that or no?
Nah,
No?
bro, it's like a whole different experience. I did
I've
not.
never
When
tried
I
it.
smelled it, I thought it was gonna be just very salty. But bro, I took a good whiff of it the first time, and it just hits you so hard. It's like kind of like wasabi you can describe in a way, but like
Uh,
it burns. Like it's terrible. Makes your
did
eyes water
you
and everything.
did you fake? Did you fake your reaction on the camera?
Yeah, I had to, bro. I'm not gonna just completely crap on their company. I definitely should have,
Bro, you
maybe.
just made yourself weak. You just made yourself seem weak on camera.
Yeah, I guess, but no, I was like compared to everyone else's reaction, they were like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, "Whoa, yeah, that's pretty strong." That's like that's the reaction I did. It looks kind of
Makes sense.
fake, but like
Makes
I didn't want to sit there and be like, "Bro, what the heck is this?" Like it didn't even hit me. I
You
just like
should
I
have
didn't
said
want
that.
to. I
That would have
should
been
have,
so
but
much
then they
better.
wouldn't have used it.
I guess, but you just clown on people just for
Yeah,
fun.
and just walk away. I
Just
probably
walk
definitely
away.
should have just stayed true to myself, but
It's like, why are
eh,
you lying?
yeah.
Somebody's gonna order it, and then the weakest smelling salts. It's like, it's your fault, Vlad. It's your fault for them buying it.
Nah, bro, I don't even care. They don't have that many views either way. It
Yeah.
wasn't that big of a channel. It's a coincidence that I even came across it.
Was it like an ad? Were they like advertising it, or was it just a
No, it
YouTube
was a
video?
YouTube short, but they were using it as an advertisement.
Hmm.
It wasn't like a paid thing or anything.
So, do you think they sell a lot?
Doubt it. He lives next to me, but I think it's like because I talked to him a little bit
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, but I think it's just like a side hustle with his friend or something because there's two of them. But yeah, I
That's
doubt they're
cool though.
making like a livable wage off of it. Yeah.
No, but that's still cool. Imagine like your company, like if they do the advertising well, and which it's not that difficult
I
to
mean, a
do.
couple of their videos had like I think close to couple 100,000 or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if they are able to advertise it really well, they're able to make a good amount of money, and that's like would you think about making selling salts and selling them?
Personally, I probably wouldn't start that
No,
company.
before you even like heard about him, like would you even think about that?
Oh no, like I would
Yeah,
never.
see, it's like there's money in everything, like anything you could think
Yeah.
of, hats, lighters. I'm just looking at stuff like you could do that in any sphere, but
Right.
I guess smelling salts and gym stuff is just really popular at the moment, so they might have like used
And
kind of
it's
like
like
the
unique. I don't think there's that many companies out there that are doing it.
smelling
And
salts. Yeah.
for them, it wasn't necessarily just like a gym thing. It wasn't a gym thing. It was like
Mm.
a small little container, and it wasn't. I think the specific reason for it was to not be like super strong, but it just like enough to wake you up like at nighttime if you're. Because the question he asked me was, "What do you usually do when you're like super tired at nighttime and you need to study?" and like I said, I don't know, maybe like drink some caffeine or something if I really need it.
Yeah.
But he said like, well, with this, like you can just smell it. It wakes you up, and then you're able to like get back on track and study or whatever. So it's like a
Dude,
little like wake up thing.
do their videos like show any sort of gym stuff? Have you seen their videos?
They had one, the one that I like was scrolling. I saw it was like some chick at the gym smelling it,
Uh-huh.
but
Okay. So they're kind of like focused like around everything. That's interesting. Because
yeah.
when you think about like staying up awake, I guess that makes sense. When you need to wake up and go somewhere, you think either coffee, but if you don't want to take caffeine in your body, like what's the next best thing? Smelling salts, I guess. Like what else can you think
hmm
about to wake you up other than
Going on a
caffeine?
walk like I did today.
Going on a walk, cold walk, I guess cold shower, throwing water
Yeah,
on your face.
that'll
That works
definitely wake
too,
you
I
up.
guess.
Physical activity wakes you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm saying, it's the most convenient is the smelling
Yeah,
salt,
for
and
sure.
it's like it's not gonna linger. Like as if you take caffeine, it's gonna linger forever, and you're gonna have trouble falling asleep
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
This just wakes you up and then you're just ready to go. That's actually a good
hmm
that's a good branding, I guess. That's a good way to market it.
yeah,
It's a cool way to market. I'm actually interested because I'm actually interested in marketing at the moment. I wanna see. I want to like create a plan for them. Not like use it even. Just create a plan. Like, how would I advertise it? Like, I like to do that. Like, when I go, when I look at random stuff, I just go like, how would I advertise this to make money off of it?
and what have you
Um,
done that too?
what do you mean? Like
Like
in my
what? Like
head?
specific?
Oh,
Yeah, like what
I've
specific brands and stuff?
construction equipment, construction like flooring, stuff like that. And then companies, I was looking at real estate lawyers and like what's the best way in reality? Because not a lot of people like buy houses at the time. How do you advertise to people that buy houses? You know, like it's like a brain struggle because you're wasting money for every single ad. But how do you target people that have the most probability of buying a house at the moment? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it goes into like very like
Do
age
you have
and
any
stuff like
ideas
that.
of that?
Yeah, yeah. So it would be like an age where like it's not young kids, but it's not like adults too. So it could be adults, but it like starts off probably at like 25. You want them to be at least 25 years old. Is like the bottom for advertising campaigns at least.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do an advertising campaign, you want it to be at least 25 because anybody under that either doesn't have money or work experience, like like longevity of work to actually apply for a loan. And
Right.
so you need them to be a little older and then like preferably in a better neighborhood, like if like city wise, because you could do in which city, to advertise because of internet and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that you could like play around with and like mess around with to find the best possible matches, but it's still like it's still crazy. Like just to
Mm-hmm.
think about it, like to walk around, coffee. How do you advertise this coffee place or something like that? But I'm not a professional at all. I'm just doing it for
Just
fun.
fun for you to do it.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
like a little hobby thing that you can eventually maybe turn into a business.
Yeah.
But should we get into the main topic? We've been talking for a while now.
I think so. I think not enough to be honest.
Not enough.
Nah,
We
I'm
can talk for
kidding.
2 hours today. Honestly, just keep on going.
We
But yeah,
could.
we didn't really bring up the main topic today. We're honestly just having fun talking, But
Yeah.
we're gonna kind of talk about, in a way, evolution of humans and just like bring up ancient. What would you call this? Like species of humans, or like different types of, cause like yeah, I think it's different species of like primitive humans. That's kind of what the topic is.
But it's
But
it's it's like stages of human development, I guess. Like
yeah, well, we're not
it like
going like
comes in
into
periods.
that deep of like depth of it. We're kind of just talking
Yeah.
about like okay, let's just start out with Neanderthals, which was like kind of one of the topics. But Neanderthals, they're a species of like humans, just like Homo sapiens, like us, and they're the closest relatives to Homo sapiens. Um, scientists don't exactly know where they originally came from, but they're speculated to die off like that. They died off around like 40,000 years ago. So that's kind of a while already, and um, they lived
It,
there like in the Europe, Asia area and stuff.
Europe, Asia,
Hmm.
not in Africa.
So, well, like here, I'll go into the story right here.
Okay.
Um, where was it? Whatever. I'll go into that later because it's like a
Okay.
whole entire
Well,
story I
I'll
want to talk
explain my
about.
reasoning for that question is because
Yeah.
I've saw scientists, some sort of scientists, they were saying that the the first humans came out of Africa and they kind of like spread out everywhere through Asia. The first they went up into through Egypt, right? Because that's
Well,
probably the
the first
closest.
like which humans?
I'm not exactly sure which
Like the first
ones.
Homo sapiens came from like Africa. Like this, our
Yeah.
species came from Africa.
Okay. So
But the
that's okay.
Neanderthals are a
Okay.
whole different thing.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Neanderthals were in Africa at first. Like they interchanged with the Homo sapiens, and yeah, I'll just go into the story. So
Was it at the same time?
yeah,
They were there at the
so
same time. Okay.
around like over here it says around 800,000 years ago, Homo sapiens and Neanderthals mixed in Africa. Like there was Homo sapien and Neanderthal species, and um, after they mixed and like created kind of a new species is the Homo Neanderthals because they're babies, and those ones traveled out of Africa into parts of like Asia and Europe with the other Neanderthal people, and uh, they're the pure Homo sapien population stayed in Africa, and that's why in current day, like people from the African descent are pure Homo sapiens. Like they have pretty much no Neanderthal DNA in them at all. But people from like Europe, Asia, and like pretty much everywhere else in the world, because that's where everyone like came from, uh, they have around like 2% Neanderthal DNA in them. So
Mm.
you're a mutt right now. You have 2% Neanderthal DNA in you.
Are you sure about that?
100%.
All right.
Like pretty much all white people are Neanderthals, like a part of them.
What
But
is
like
the
the
other one? The it starts with a D. Like I lost the word for it. The other ones that they created a new species. You said.
oh, the new species. Well, it wasn't necessarily a new species. It was a mix between both of them. It's the Homo Neanderthals.
Oh, okay. I thought
So
there
yeah,
was
it was
another
like
word for it.
no, it was Homo
Uh,
Neanderthals. I just like the mix between both of them. But the reason why we have such a like low percentage in us is because like the researchers that did all this like geneticist stuff and like researched the old species, um, they said that sex between these two different species occurred very rarely. So that's like there's barely anything. It was probably some guy that's like super down bad or something, because like that's just completely different animals or creatures that did it, and apparently it worked out. You know.
what do you mean by completely different? Weren't
Well,
Neanderthal? They were still sort of like humanoid,
they
right?
had different DNA and they're like a whole different build and stuff. Like they were different creatures,
But don't like dogs mix with other dogs.
but that's still dogs. You know. In a way, okay,
So
it's
that
different species, but
like I from
it's
pictures what I saw, they look very similar.
not
From
really.
pictures that I
So
searched up, they look pretty similar.
their build, they literally had like a super thick skull, and they, you know, like that caveman look with like the bony brow, and they so
Yeah,
yeah, I can probably even pull up like actually I'll pull it up right now.
I got one. I
Neander,
got an absolute
Neander,
Neanderthal. Bro,
yeah, they look like the pretty much a caveman. That's what they looked
mm-hmm.
like. Here, I'll do a thing, but it's just like a bony brow, like all the way across. Um, and their average height was like 5'5" for the males and 5 foot for the females. So they were like way shorter than Homo sapiens, but
You
they were
said five
stronger
foot five.
for males. Yeah,
That's that's only a little bit smaller. That's not that much smaller, is it?
Also,
At the
good
time,
amount smaller.
weren't people back in the day? They were a lot shorter. It's only
They
now people started getting a lot taller.
Nah, they were still pretty tall.
No, I understand they were like in the 5 foot. They weren't really in the 6 foot at the time.
There
From
was
hard
definitely
work,
people that
their
some of them
bones were
were.
more dense, right? They were they had
Yeah, but
hard
some
work, a lot
people
of
definitely were
lifting and stuff.
taller.
I guess, but like when you look
On
at
average, the
there's not a lot.
Homo sapiens are taller than the Neanderthals. That's pretty
Oh,
much what I'm
okay,
trying to
of
say.
course. Okay. Okay.
But they had like a wider build and everything as well. Like they were way stronger.
So they were basically a
So
tank.
yeah, and you notice how like they have like massive nostrils and stuff,
They were like that.
like
Something.
super wide. Yeah,
Weren't they open a
apparently,
little bit out, like out
yeah.
like that?
Well, what did it say they were
Like it was like
open? They were
cut
just
like this,
super
basically.
wide.
No,
They're
no.
wide.
Okay.
Nah, they're fine.
And I don't know
But
why I looked. I searched it up and that came up. I don't know why. Okay. Maybe it was
well, the
bones.
reason they had that was because they were able to like breathe in more oxygen and stuff. So they were more efficient. Like they were able to run for longer periods of time, and they had like the bigger build and everything, because they had more
Mm-hmm.
oxygen. That's kind of why they had that. But
But wouldn't that make sense for them to be taller if they had more oxygen?
their frame didn't allow for it, I guess,
Right?
since they were like a
Genetics.
stockier thing. Yeah.
Genetics, I guess. Because there was like this thing, um, I don't know where I saw it, but it's like, oh, if the Earth had like 10 times more oxygen density,
Mhm.
or, yeah, we would be like much bigger. Yeah, we'd be
Right,
like
and
massive.
even back in the day, like during the like dinosaurs' time, there was more oxygen in the earth because like the atmosphere allowed for it, but they had like massive bugs and like huge snakes and everything like that, and like they find fossils of like those big creatures.
Actually,
So
on that topic, have you seen like the massive tree? Like it's
what
like
do
a
you mean?
mountain. It's like a death mountain. What is it called?
Massive tree?
It's said to be a tree. Like
Pull it up, a
um
picture,
yeah, yeah,
and do like the screen share. But sure, I think I actually might have heard something
yeah.
about that.
I can't even show you. Search up.
What do you mean? You
Just
can
search
do
up
like
tree
the
mountain.
tree
Devil's
mountain.
Tower. Search up Devil's Tower. Devil's Tower. That's what it was. Devil's Tower.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like people say that it's like a fossilized tree. Yeah. Oh shoot, I completely forgot that I had that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you to do.
Yeah, yeah, I completely forgot. But yeah, they're saying that it's like a fossilized tree because like rocks don't form in I believe it's like hexagon shapes or octagon. I believe it's hexagon shape. And so because that's how trees are apparently made, and so it fossilized, and that was basically a tree because of the oxygen density.
Yeah, it definitely resembles a tree, like even on the bottom, like the whole entire look of it.
Yeah, it looks like roots going down, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's yeah. People are saying that, and they're saying like, yo, that this is
But
proof why.
can't scientists figure that out? Like do some type of testing?
Well, it's fossilized. It turned rock, because when it's like fossilized, it turns into rock, right?
Turns to carbon.
Well,
Like
depends. There's
oh,
some stuff that turn into rocks.
I guess maybe.
Carbon. I don't know. I think there was some stuff like about it, but everything I'm looking at, like when I search it up, is like flat earthers have a theory or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
flat
Just
earth insane new theory. It's like yo.
it kind of discredits it in a way.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's like yo, like why are you pushing it like that? You know,
Yeah.
why are you saying it like that? Yeah, but yeah,
But the real question.
that's the oxygen. I was talking about oxygen. You were talking about the real question.
Oh, I was saying, you know how you said like different dogs mix like their species and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're saying, oh, it's kind of in a way it's like it's not weird
Well,
for
I'm not
those.
saying it's not weird. I'm just saying like if it wasn't like that big of a difference, and they weren't
Yeah.
like smart, like they weren't intelligent beings. They
No,
were
they
a little
were
bit intelligent, a little bit, but they
right.
weren't like on our level where
The thing is, we were back then. The Homo sapiens species wasn't on a like crazy level as well. They were on the same intellect level. Like even in the way, Neanderthals were leading the way at like certain points of like at of times, and Homo sapiens would copy them. And then something happened where Homo sapiens became smart, and then genetically mutated to become even smarter than what
hmm
we are today. At least that's what scientists say.
you said you. So you're saying Homo sapiens are the one that were smart? That
No,
they were
they were
oh,
on
wait,
the
no.
same level at first,
No,
and
no, no.
and
That became smart and led the way. You said Homo sapiens, right?
well, afterwards they became smarter and then
Okay.
killed off all the other species.
Oh, they did?
Technically, yeah.
How about the mixes? You called me a Neanderthal.
Bruh, that's your Homo sapien. That's like 2% Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Like in extreme cases,
Mm.
it's pretty much the same thing. But if you're if you were saying like, oh, like those two types of people were the same, like, would you get
No,
with one of the
bro,
Neanderthals? Is
you're
that what you're trying to
asking,
say?
but no, you're talking about
You would want
totally
to get
different
with
worlds
a
nowadays.
stocky 5 foot woman?
You're talking about two different types of worlds nowadays.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm intelligent now. Like, I understand stuff. Back in the day, they weren't intelligent.
Okay,
It's just not a relevant question. Like at the
I
moment,
guess that's
I
true.
feel like
Yeah.
it's like it's like asking a dog, like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
That's the way I see. If they weren't intelligent, like if they didn't have intelligence, and you said it was before that the Homo sapiens got intelligent after, right?
The Homo sap. What do you mean intelligent after?
They got intelligent after they were already like mixed, right?
So no, they were living like together in Africa, and
Mm-hmm.
both of them were pretty much at the same intellect level, and in some cases, the Neanderthals were even smarter at like certain points of time. But then eventually, I don't know exact point like when, but they eventually became like way smarter than the Neanderthals, and 40,000 years ago, they killed them off. The
Well, yeah, but my point is, it was before they were smart. They were already mixed in. That's why we see nowadays that like some people have 2% is because it was already mixed into the DNA. You
hmm
know, like it was probably came before people like had the intelligence or the mutation for intelligence
Yeah, maybe. I
happened.
don't know.
So it's I understand it like you're like asking a dog like why are you doing this? At least from what like information I have, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, they weren't very smart people, like the Neanderthals for sure. Like they were able to develop tools and everything, and they have um, fossilized tools that they like found archaeologists, but they were able to adapt and like be good problem solvers and hunted like together as a group. But the thing is, when I was doing the research, they said that they were incapable of creating symbols or like doing any sort of language or communicating to each other. So I don't understand how they were able to hunt together and like kill animals, you know, if they can't communicate.
What do you mean by like speak or
Yeah, they
like
weren't able to
even
speak to each other
fingers?
or like develop any. Yeah, they were not able to develop any communication.
Then how any sort of to communicate? I'm pretty sure
That's
they
what it
could
said.
point and like people would understand. No?
Maybe, but
But
in
that
a, I
also
don't know.
requires communicational thought.
Yeah, maybe they meant just dialect, but yeah, it's definitely whack.
I yeah, I don't. Maybe it was just. Oh, okay. How do monkeys go in packs, or how do wolves go in
Oh,
packs? Do you
that's
think
true.
that
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
it's just
they communicate to
nature?
each other. They're able to.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so.
I
I
think
guess
it's just
yeah,
a
it's in the
natural
same way.
thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They just weren't able to do like dialect, or do symbols or anything like that.
Or like more understanding wise. I think it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it. They just thought for themselves and for the group, I guess, because when you're in a pack, I guess you like think together. And you're like you move together, so everybody understands what's going on, sort of.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know.
but they did end up dying, and it's kind of weird because around 50,000 years ago is when scientists say that the Homo sapiens moved out of Africa and started like colonizing Europe and Asia. And 10,000 years later, somehow the Neanderthals disappeared. So either they killed them off or just like outcompeted them by like since they were smarter, they were able to take all the food, and then the Neanderthals didn't have the food or stuff like that. So that eventually led to their downfall. It also could have been like some type of diseases that only affected the Neanderthals and killed them.
But that,
But yeah.
that doesn't really make sense, though, does it?
What do
It's
you
like
mean?
how do animals survive in the wild? Like they just survive. It's just their natural habitat. That's just how habitats work. Like
Well, when there's an invasive species that come in, they can get killed off, and they're
I
competing with.
understand that, but was it like that extreme? Like Africa's not small. You know, Africa's massive. There's so many places to hide, I guess. Like not even hide, just like where Homo sapiens just wouldn't even know that anybody's there or compete in that specific location. Like it wasn't like jam packed with that many people because there weren't that much people at the time. Or Homo
Yeah.
sapiens, sorry, Homo sapiens at the time. It's
Who
like
knows then? They
that
could
like just
have.
doesn't make sense for me.
So what do you think? Do you think that they killed them off? The Homo sapiens killed them
Uh,
off?
it just doesn't fit in my head because that's a possibility. But why would how would they get every single last one of them? You know, like every single last group. Like that's it's kind of like that just doesn't
Yeah,
make
I see.
sense. It's like when you're trying to like you even nowadays it's hard to take out every single group. There are like birds going like extinct. Like you know the Rio bird? You know, have you seen
Mm-hmm.
the movie Rio? The bird went extinct in the wild. So there's still like, breed ones where they breed them, but the the wild birds have gone extinct now. So that's a possibility, but
Yeah, I guess it could have been just like diseases and stuff like that. That's what um the like website I was researching off said. That could have been like some type of natural disaster, or just like something in nature that led to their downfall. But it was just kind of like it's not, it's a coincidence,
yeah.
that like that when the Homo sapiens came in, they died off like within like a couple thousand years. And that's happened with like pretty much all the different species of humans. Like even the next one that we're, let's probably lead into that one, the Florensiensis or something like that. Easier way to say is the Flores Man, which
Hmm.
is like the small humans from an island in Indonesia. But when Homo sapiens came to that island, they wiped them out completely. Like there was no trace of them afterwards. It's
When
like,
the Homo sapiens went there.
yeah, this was like around 50,000 years ago is when they got extinct.
Hmm.
It was around the same exact time as when they started going into Europe and Asia. They also went to like Asia, which is Indonesia, and that's when they went extinct, the Flores Man. So
I think
I felt
that makes sense. That makes
then,
sense
yeah, they probably did it because like even
for sure.
Homo sapiens, they have like the rage inside of them. I feel like where they want to like we can't even be peaceful with our own type of people.
Of course, of course.
Like that's just the type, like
Yeah,
we're that type of
it just
species.
makes sense. I feel like intelligence. As soon as people get intelligence, like everybody else just doesn't matter
Oh, so
because
now it makes sense, huh?
no, because if it was a coincidence. Now it makes sense.
Now it makes sense.
Now
It
it
clicked
makes
in there.
sense. Yeah, now it clicks.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
so when there's intelligence involved, it's like how do you see yourself? Would you rather die or would you kill, a bear
yeah,
or would you kill a dog? Like that's the kind of question. But obviously they were a little more human. But at the time, those Homo sapiens like didn't care. Like they just weren't smart. So why are they living? You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they
That
thought exactly like that. They just saw them as
it,
competition.
yeah, it's like these guys are, you know, half the size that we are, and they're not as smart as us. You know, that's
Hmm.
sport. Let's go. Sport, huh?
Actually, they did treat it as sport. I don't know if this is
Exactly.
necessarily true, but I've heard stories about how they used to like hunt these Flores man. So they would go out in the forest and literally like with weapons and stuff and kill these little like humans as sport. Like they just
Mhm.
consider it as hunting. I don't know if that's necessarily a true story and like people in today's age they don't know exactly that happened, but
Yeah.
there's like speculations about it and like people that talked about it. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like it's intelligent. It's like the beginning of its intelligence.
mhm.
What can you think of when you think of intelligence? Not even not intelligent intelligence. It's just the basic intelligence. It's like um I guess fun. Like what comes to mind? What would be coming to mind? I guess happiness for them. Um uh, I don't even know food. Like what would you think of as like the basic intelligence with like without like the ability to actually like you know create stuff, but just the basics.
Bro,
What
I
do you
look you
look
don't know
for?
what you're saying
You
right
know,
now.
you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so a dog, right? They do what they want, right?
Uh-huh.
They do what they want. Like they'll get something. They'll obviously listen to people sometimes, but they'll do what they want. Like there's meat on the side of the road. You know they'll get it. If there's another dog, they'll start fighting the dog because they want to. If no humans involved, right?
Right.
That's the same thing. It's like imagine like someone comes along, but you're smarter than them. It's like I'll just play around with them. Like
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That makes more sense with the way you said it that time. I was just confused. But yeah, these people were around for a long time. Give a little background about it. The Flores man was a species, like its own species of primates that um, they somehow went to in like an island in Indonesia and somehow secluded themselves from the rest of civilizations and all the other species. But this happened like around 1 million years ago, and they lasted until like 50,000 years ago. And they're like the newest species discovered by scientists. And like at first, scientists believed that was just like a subcategory of Homo sapiens, and there was some like infected, like diseased people, you know, like because there's obviously dwarfs in current day. I think that's what it's called, dwarfism, and that's like a diseased person. And they
Hmm.
like said that's the same thing that happened to them. But after like doing a little bit more research on these people, they realized that they had a whole different DNA, uh, like whole different DNA and like a whole different build than us. And they actually found it in 2003 in a cave, so it was like super recent, like
What
this
did they
species.
find?
They found like a skeleton. They found a
Yeah.
bunch of them
They
of
got
these
DNA
people.
from it as well, so they were
Yeah,
able to study it. Yeah.
but the average person stood at 3'6", super short, and
Yeah.
obviously they were way smaller than us. Had tiny brains, uh, like shrugged forward shoulders with like no chin and everything, and like receding foreheads. Here, I can like pull up a picture of what they
Hmm.
looked like, but people say that in a way, it they look like what's that thing from shoot, I can't think of the name, but this is what they look like right here.
Hmm. That's
What's
just
the
the
thing
face.
from the
Oh.
movie? Like the small scary creature from the movie.
Which
Ah,
one?
my brain is blanking. Lord
Which
of the
movie?
Rings,
I haven't watched Lord of the
Hobbit
Rings.
or something. I don't know, but like the nickname I think is Hobbit or something like that. And oh shoot,
Oops. It's
blur
called
that out.
Golem. It's a golem, no?
Golem, okay,
Golem. Yeah.
but yeah, that's what like it kind of reminds me of, and
Uh-huh.
that's the nickname that it has. those type of people.
So this was like a totally different mutation, I guess. So primates turned into these in Indonesia on that secluded place, and then
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, right? They became Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, totally separate, right?
Yeah.
Completely separate. 'Cause,
Apparently, like they were a whole different species of humans
but
or
like,
primates.
what if like it was like how they say evolution happens over time? It doesn't happen like this,
Yeah.
right? So, is there any trace that like half changed Homo sapiens, like a half
Well, they all
evolution
came
was
from
complete.
Homo erectus. Like that's the first one.
So they came
But
from a Homo erectus too. This wasn't just a completely separate primate state.
what do you mean?
So they didn't turn into that from monkeys, right?
I
They
don't
turned
think
into
so.
that from
No.
Homo erectus, right?
Yeah, they came
Okay.
like from the
Okay.
first human.
That's what I mean. Okay. That was my question.
Okay. Um. Go into the intelligence of these people, but they
Oh,
had
the
a
Flores?
very, huh? Yeah,
Oh, the
about the
Flores
Flores
man?
man.
Okay.
They had obviously super small brains relative to their size, and a person, a professional named Dr. Falk, he's obviously a doctor, so he knows what he's saying, but
Oh, yeah.
he said that several features of these brains, like after doing research, had neural reorganization. So apparently, like when this creature got injured, they were able to connect, like the nerve endings were able to reconnect after an injury, so that somehow it's like somewhat concluded that they were intelligent beings at that time, because we're able to do, like when we get injured, our brain is able to like reconnect damaged neurons and
Okay.
stuff like that after like rest and everything. It's obviously not going to be like perfect, but we're able to reconnect it, and that's like in a way like is able to correlate if something is intelligent or not. So this doctor said that these beings were able to do that, and they were able to communicate in some sort of manner, killing small elephants on the island and like
Oh, really?
massive lizards and stuff like that with tools. But have you ever heard of the island rule where small things are big and big things are small on there?
No.
So yeah,
What do you mean?
apparently
What do
that's
you
a
mean island rule?
it's called the island rule. So on this island, they had like naturally big creatures such as elephants, which were like way smaller, and these like small creatures were hunting down these elephants as like a pack, and then like they use that as food, obviously, but the like small, naturally small creatures like lizards were super massive on this island, and apparently that's a thing, a phenomenon where um, on an island since it's super secluded and small creatures are able to get big because there's a lack of predators to kill them off, so they're able to grow, like mutate and grow larger, and then the big creatures have a lack of resources because it's not like a vast
Mm-hmm.
area, so they end up being smaller because they don't have like enough food and everything to eat.
Yeah,
So
that's
in a way
interesting.
that could have happened to these creatures where, like, since humans I think are on the bigger side, like they were able to, I guess, get their like needed amount of resources to be big. But
But I mean, that just happened naturally. Do you know if they went like? It's okay. It's okay. That's too complicated question. I'm pretty sure they don't even know.
yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to have fun here, Alik. You're
Yeah,
over
I
here
know.
asking me super complicated questions.
I'm just going at you. I'm just making sure
Yeah,
you did your research.
I tried.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, don't know everything, but
Of course, of course. I'm just kidding. I'm
but
just
I was
messing
just
with you.
saying, you know how when like 50,000 years ago when like Homo sapiens started exploring everywhere
Yeah.
and they came to that island, like I don't know, how would you feel if you just were surrounded by like massive humans, like giants that came and like destroyed your whole entire home and just, like invaded your island? It was like so
Bro,
scary.
you know what comes to mind? Attack on
What?
Titan.
Attack on Titan, yeah. In a way, that's it.
That makes sense, right?
But
It's like,
I know that like they're the ones that look like the Titans.
well, yeah, but it's like not about looks, you know.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's just like completely invaded and destroyed, and like you can't even do anything about it since you're
Yeah,
like way smaller and less smart, obviously. But
that makes sense.
yeah.
So, actually, the intelligence where you were talking about intelligence and how they were trying to wipe out, they started to wipe out with a little bit of intelligence, right? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have watched Planet of the Apes. I think that's what it's called.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of them, so they're like named a little bit differently. But uh, what happens is that like the monkeys are given a little bit of intelligence, and they start to act out. They start to get angry. They start to like create chaos. I guess they just created a whole apocalypse.
Right.
Not like a full apocalypse, but yeah, they created a whole apocalypse, and that actually makes sense because when you give like basic intelligence to something, they want freedom, I guess, and then with freedom, and then later I guess comes revenge, with more intelligence, I think, with anger, I think, but right away I think they just want freedom, and I guess they get angry very easily. I think they get angry very easily with a little bit of intelligence because you like something's pissing me off. What am I gonna do about it?
Mhm.
But
Why do you
that's
think
also
that is?
basic. That's also basics because when you like poke a bear, it's gonna fight you. When you poke a
Yeah.
dog, it's gonna bite you too. So that's basic, like intelligence as well. That's just what happens to nature. But they do want freedom though, because they were done living in cages, right?
Who was done living in cages?
The monkeys, they didn't want to live in cages anymore.
Oh,
They did.
from the movie?
Yeah.
I was like so confused. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I
There's like
also
a little
don't
bit of
remember what the movie was
intelligence.
like anymore.
Yeah, I watched it like probably like twice. It's kind of like in my head.
Yeah.
I have a little more ingrained in my head. But yeah, it's like basic knowledge. Like, well, sorry, not knowledge. Basic intelligence. It's like, what does that even mean to you? Like what do you care about when you have just basic intelligence? I think that's how they felt like in those small Flores Men. I think that's how they felt. I think maybe it was like the trapped animals. Maybe no.
I don't think so. They're just living their lives.
I don't think so. Well, they
Like,
were
went on that-
intelligent though, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. They were being hunted. They probably had fear, right?
Most likely. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I have no idea. What kind of questions are you asking me? Do they have fear? I'm sure
I don't know.
they're
I'm
probably
just
pretty freaked out when a bunch of giants came out of nowhere and wiped their whole civilization out.
I'm just trying to compare them to the Planet of the Apes. So I was like, how is it gonna fit in? But it's okay,
Do they have fair? Like, bro.
I don't know. I don't know what. I have no idea what basic intelligence is like. So.
Clearly, you know about it. You're going off of basic intelligence.
That's all I have, huh? Just the basics. Oh yeah. So
Sure, you want to still talk about monkeys, or is that it?
monkeys, actually, have you seen the video where the monkey took off the jacket from the person and put it on himself?
Oh, I've seen it all right. Pull it up. You have a video?
You have it? I don't have a video, but
Or I'll try to pull it up.
it's on Instagram. It's on one of the message boards.
I have
but
it.
Yeah. So that's like when you look at them, it's like, what is going on?
Hold up, I need to turn on my... Don't talk, but I'm turning on my desktop audio for a second.
Oh my God. Take it off.
Oh my
Or you might put your coat on, bro.
Right, it's fine, let him take it off.
That's sick.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Look,
that is gone.
You can try to put it on.
Gonna put it on, bro.
No, he's not gonna put it on.
Bro, he's gonna put it on, bro.
He's not gonna put it
Nah!
Oh my god.
Yo, they're humans.
Wow.
Wait,
Oh
oh.
my god. Try to zip it up. But you didn't.
Oh, it's back to front. Nah, that is a legend. Oh my.
Can you hear it though? Like the volume on it?
No, I couldn't.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Though their accents are so funny. You're like, nah, man, he's putting it on. But yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they can put on a jacket. Like that's
You think
more
that's
than
crazy?
I thought. Well, I guess
You
I
think
just
that
have low
requires a lot of
standards.
intelligence to put on clothes?
I don't know, but he put his arms in there and like he was trying to zip it up as well. You saw at the
That's
end he
true,
was trying
but
to
have you
zip
seen?
it up.
Have you heard the saying "monkey see, monkey do"?
I guess so. That's what their intelligence is. I guess they copy.
Yeah.
They know well
There's
enough
all-
to copy humans, huh?
Yeah. There's also the video of the monkey receiving the pizza, right? Is that the one? you
Oh
remember
yeah.
too?
He walks out, gives the money, and takes the pizza inside.
Dude, is that one
was
real?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's real.
No.
I'm gonna pull it up. It's right here. It's like, bro, what the heck? He gets scared. He's like, what is this? He's like, what the heck? He just runs away.
Yeah. Did you turn my audio off? The stuff.
No, you're good. I didn't turn on the audio for this one.
Okay. So yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. Like, a monkey was completely dressed, walks outside, hands the money, takes the pizza inside.
I think that's fake. There's no way that's real.
Okay.
It could
No,
be,
it
but
could be fake. Could be fake. for sure.
it just hands the money like that. Is like,
The
it
money
just like looks so funny.
probably doesn't even know what to do. The monkey probably they just put the money in his hands and told him to go outside.
Who's they?
I don't know.
You
the
don't think he
people that
lives by
lived in
himself?
Of course he does.
But yeah, it's definitely funny, that video. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, hilarious. But yeah, so
So
like
is that it with the monkeys?
um
Or do you have more? It's fine if you have more.
no. I think that's it. But I was gonna bring it into like this topic is like, it's like, so you look how smart, like how decently smart they are, and like there's a bunch of videos of like monkeys like outsmarting people or doing stuff like to trick people, like taking people's phones and like stuff like that out of at jungles. I mean at zoos. Sorry.
Yeah.
Zoos, and it creates a possibility like, oh yeah, they probably could have advanced to a point like where we are right now, and so like that just brings to evolution. It's like over time, like things change and people become smarter. But they naturally do become smarter because of civilization, but
Mm-hmm.
evolution in general, I guess. And that kind of brings you to the Philippines
next.
people.
Yeah, the Bajo tribe. Well, yeah, this one's a little bit different because these are still like Homo sapiens in the same species as us, but it shows that there can be like people can evolve even from our own species into like new things, like advance in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bajo tribe, they're considered to be like water people. They literally live on the water and like floating houses and stuff like that. And they pretty much like spend their whole entire lives like swimming, fishing. Like that's how they make their money, is off fishing. But the reason that they're not like land dwelling people, so originally they were, but apparently like one of the king's daughters was swept away into the ocean and taken by a storm, and the king ordered the people to go find the daughter, but they were never able to find her, and they were scared to come back because they knew they were going to get killed. So they ended up just staying out in the water, and that's how they spent the rest of their life. Obviously, I think that's a myth, and there's like a bunch of different theories to it, but no one knows specifically why these people are out on the water, but they've been doing it for like thousands of years. It was even the oldest recording of them, like these people, was in like 840 AD, where like some civilization like documented like a group of people that live on the water. And there's like European explorers in the 1500s, 1700s, and 1800s that like wrote wrote the same exact thing like in their books and stuff like that, like of their travels, that there's people that live on the water, but they're pretty like normal people. Like people describe them as a peaceful, kind, like civilization, but the thing that's different about them is that they're able to hold their breath for 5 to 13 minutes, like underwater, and like they're able to swim and everything while doing that. So that's insane, because trained pros and divers are able to hold their breaths for like on an average of 3 to 4 minutes while like just like diving and like actually moving around. So it's kind of insane that like they could do it for 5 to 13.
Yeah,
but
and it's like training is like powerful. You use training, because normal person is probably only gonna be able to like last maybe a minute and a half,
2 minutes, 1 minute, yeah.
Like without any training. So they already got it up to 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. And not only that, like training, like what do you do training? Like you build muscle, but you can't like change your body, like
like you're not able to grow your organs and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
In the way you are, but
muscle mass, I guess you're able to
yeah.
grow and lose fat. But other than that, I don't know if you could change much about your body.
Yeah, but the reason they're able to hold their breath for so long is because they have way larger spleens than most people. And what the spleen is responsible for is holding oxygenated blood and like processing of that. And if you have a larger spleen, that's like, you can relate this to a car. If you have a larger tank, the fuel takes longer to run out. And
yeah.
Like that's the same thing with like the humans. Like they have a larger tank, so the fuel takes longer to run out, so they're able to spend more time underwater and stuff like that. But yeah, I just found it fascinating that like a subgroup of people can adapt to become like genetically better than the average human. And in a way, like I don't know, just like if you had that choice, what would you want to evolve like on your body to become better?
On your body, or like in general,
like
anything
like something that you have, like what would you want to become better like than the average human?
I think the basic thing is everybody would like to be taller.
You think that's what you want, is to be taller?
Not the
if
only thing. I mean, okay.
No, just you have one thing. Just pick it. Like what would you want? Because I have one.
To add on top of my body, I'd probably
not add on. Like what to get better?
To change
like,
about my body, but I'm already like
sure.
this, right? I'm already like this. So it would probably be like easy muscle growth, like how a gorilla grows muscle from grass, and it doesn't even need like to eat protein or anything like that.
You would want just muscles?
Bro, there's a lot I could say. It's just like
because if you have, just like, why would you want a bunch of muscles? That's kind of
like a bunch of muscle. It's like easy muscle growth. Like you don't have to eat a lot, and
I feel like humans right now with their peak, like it's all you need. Because if once you start taking steroids and be like super jacked, like that doesn't do any benefit to you. You might like look sick in some people's eyes, but I think it's not practical because you're not able to move around well and everything. So
okay, now you're attacking my thing. Okay, what would I do?
Because there's no way you actually want huge muscles.
No, I don't want to be a gorilla. I don't want to be that massive.
You said you wanted to be a gorilla a couple seconds ago.
I was just trying to say like you don't have to eat a lot, and your body doesn't like I guess consume as much. Like your body doesn't have to burn that much calories or whatever for it. But then your brain wouldn't work because your brain takes a lot of maintenance, right? Yeah. I have no idea, to be honest. I have no clue what I would do.
Okay.
I can see your answer right now. It's a good answer. I just don't know anything else. I have no idea.
Well, the thing is,
like anything.
Yeah,
better.
okay, so I'll just say mine. Mine is
Yeah.
having like super strong ligaments and bones and everything. And the reason for that is you're pretty much going to be like indestructible. Because if you have massive muscles, like you're still not going to be able to be like a tank pretty much. Because with like thick bones and like dense bones, you're able to not break as easily. Like you're able to jump like from higher, I guess, surface. Like I don't know, you're able to jump down from higher surfaces and pretty much like not be damaged as easily. And that's kind of
But
what I would want.
would that are there ligaments in your vertebrae that hold it together, or
No,
what holds them together?
It's literally just like cartilage discs and fluids all the way down the vertebrae.
Your vertebrae is still sort of in danger if you do
If
that.
it's stronger, then no. Stronger
Well,
cartilage. Oh, okay, give me
ligaments.
good
You could
cartilage.
add that to it. Add that to it, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes
Just
sense.
overall, just like a
That's
tank.
yeah. That's just your base, I guess. That's like the most. That's the answer that you need to give because that's the only thing you could like. That's the only good thing that you could do to your body, I guess.
Nah, what do you mean?
I guess you could increase intelligence, but like without growing your brain size, like so it's not gonna make your head bigger.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's possible. What do you mean?
I think so. Well, in this sense, like how do you change your changing? It's right, like body sort of changing, right? So how do
Doesn't
you
have to
create?
be.
Huh?
It's just what did you want to evolve like to become better than the average human? Like what specific thing?
There's nothing, but there's
What do you
there's not
mean?
one thing. There's not one thing. There's a lot. Like
Larger wiener? You wouldn't want that? Personally, I wouldn't mind it.
okay. There's a lot of stuff that could be added on. To
Now
humans.
there's a lot, huh?
There's a lot. Oh, I
But you
said there was
keep
a
on
lot.
changing.
No, I said there was a lot. I just don't like. I can't. I
okay.
can't think of one. I can't think of one that I do. Like, cause there's you could like get more intelligence. You know, that would put you on like you'd be smarter than everybody else. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty good answer. And then there's also the answer that you gave, which is also a really good answer. Like,
Right.
what would you change your answer to? You could change your answer for your cells to live longer.
You can grow wings. You wouldn't
Grow
want
wings.
wings.
Yeah, you could live longer. You could change the genetics and the DNA to live longer.
Well, yeah. Which,
Like,
in a way, is
everything
what's going to happen
possible.
to us. Like, we can say all these things, but obviously, I'm not going to be able to evolve to have stronger bones or anything like that. Like, I'm not an anime character. So, but, like, the
Not
thing
yet.
is, what? Not yet? Whatever. Anyways, the real way, like, what we're going to actually evolve into, we did a little bit of research on that, but we're expected in the future to begin to like live longer. Obviously, in the last like century, we've already like, increased our life expectancy in like over the past couple centuries, and that's gonna be due to medical advancements. So, have you heard of like artificial organs? Like they're
Yeah.
3D printing organs. They're like gonna try to do that in the future.
Yeah.
I feel like that's in a way going to help because right now there's a lot of people that want organ transplants, but they're not able to because of like a lack of it. So the like 3D printed ones will be really beneficial to that like field. And then nanotechnology, so like chips in your brains. Like Elon Musk even started to talk about it, and he's saying that like the reason we want to do this is because we're able to monitor like people's heart rates and any like disturbances in our health, and like that can alert someone right away, so we're able to like save lives like quicker.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And then, so do you know how we die? Like the reason for our death?
I think the cells deteriorate or they.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
like a
much
part
that.
piece of the cell deteriorates, like an important piece of the cell. I believe that's how it's.
I don't know like the exact like way that the cell like how the reason we die. So
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much, the cells split up in our body through like they just the division, and every single time it divides, it becomes like less efficient and like starts to degrade over time, and eventually there's like the part of the cell that like that you're talking about like becomes weak, but the mitochondria in our cell also um, become less efficient, so we're able to create less energy, and that's why like elderly people are generally like more tired. And um, so the thing that you're talking about that deteriorates is the ribosomes, and that makes the proteins for the cells, and this begins to deteriorate, and then that's when the cells become weaker and like start dying, and that's the reason we start to die. But like there's a way that you can prolong the ribosome's life or something, or like the cell's life. So with that, you're able to like extend human life or something like that. Like I'm sure like this we're gonna see something like that in the future.
I'm pretty sure there is already stuff like that. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it was like news that like Putin was taking and stuff like that. It was all over the news. Like Putin took the stuff, and now he's supposed to live a lot longer. It's like more Putin, more war.
Let's go.
What do you mean? I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. But yeah, that's kind of like with living longer, the things with that. But we're also expected to become even taller. So
I just read that. I just read the like last thing that you said. No, before that. For the last thing that you said.
What?
Submissive.
About what? Oh, submissive? I haven't even said it, bro. Chill out. But yeah, we're expected to become taller, less muscular, less aggressive, and more submissive as a population.
Crazy.
And in a way, like this is what scientists are saying that can happen. That's not necessarily what's going to happen, but it's very likely. And in a way, we can like compare ourselves to golden retrievers if that happens, because we're just going to be very friendly and happy and like kind of just like let everything go by and be like, whatever, that's fine. And that's just going to make life like super boring, because you know how golden retrievers, like they're not unique or interesting. They're all kind of the same. Like a golden retriever, they're just happy. And but yeah, like that's how scientists kind of describe our future selves if we continue on the same path, because even from World War II or from like even the 1980s, we have seen a decrease in the testosterone and like average muscle and like strength amongst humans. Because have you seen that study where it's like men's the PSI of like their forearm squeeze has become like significantly weaker from the year 1980? Yeah, so apparently that's happened. Like we've become like weaker with our forearms, and that's probably due to like our lifestyles is less physical and stuff like that.
Physical work.
But yeah, either way, like our testosterone's decreasing like crazy, and we're becoming less and less like muscular, and that's not necessarily a bad thing for some people, but I personally wouldn't want that. And even from like World War II, our frame has started to change where we're like less bulky, and back then even the average human was way shorter. They were like 5'7", and now we're like 5'10". So I guess that's a bonus. We're getting taller, but like less bulky. But the reason that's happening is probably because, like I said, we're not living like a brutal primal lifestyle. Like we don't have to experience like farming anymore, or like using just our physical labor. Like we have tools to help us out, and like advancements in technologies, and now we're kind of just like all sitting behind the desks becoming balls of jello in a way.
Speaking about primals.
Uh-huh.
Kidding. You know,
we got the one primal.
We got that one primal that's lying to everybody.
What do you think about that? About Liver King?
Oh, I didn't like him from the start.
You didn't like him? I thought he was funny.
No, like I didn't like him. Like I just knew something was up with him. He just like looks like a goofy guy. Like I just don't like. I don't even like watching his videos. Like hello primals. Like it's just like cringe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cringe to me. But all right, whatever. Who cares about that guy? But I was talking about the less
Aggressive.
less testosterone in the system. Is that
Hmm.
due to maybe less nutrients in the food that we eat? Because you've seen the study where it was like 50 years ago, I believe. It was like we only have a fourth of nutrients in our food.
Well, yeah, because the average population, they're not eating healthy natural foods. They're eating processed stuff,
Well, I
and
know, but
that's
even in the natural foods, it's only a fourth of the nutrients because of the soil. Soil is just weak and can't provide any of the nutrients.
I've never heard about
Or the
anything about that,
really,
but
yeah,
yeah.
it was like a pretty big thing like a little bit ago. Everybody
Well,
was talking about
it's
it.
definitely from the lifestyle change because we're not doing like as much physical stuff. We're more cooped up inside, and we're not necessarily doing like things to increase our testosterone. And just like our whole entire lifestyle has become kind of against that whole entire thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like as the person you said you don't like, his like the Liver King's whole statement, the primal lifestyle, that definitely will increase testosterone if we continue doing it as like a whole entire population.
You think so?
Yeah, like the whole entire
Well,
like getting in touch with nature, eating healthier foods, just doing like a bunch of beneficial things for your body will increase testosterone naturally.
well, everybody knows that eating healthy is good. Like it's not even a question. Like, but
Well, people
what?
know that, but they don't do it. Is the thing.
Of course,
So if
it's just
yeah,
easy not
that's the
to.
reason that it's going down is because of people's like lifestyle choices.
It's because they made it really easy not to, and they made the food like the cheapest as possible. Like it's
Yeah,
all. I guess it's capitalism that did that.
yeah.
Like yeah, capitalism is good for part of it, but it's also like kind of destroys the people side of it. Because when you go to McDonald's, like even in America, you've seen the ingredients list like in America and then versus like in Europe. You've seen that Americans like have
It's so
those
much worse. Yeah.
yeah, it's so much worse. It's like red dye, like stuff that is illegal in Europe because it's bad, and they just put it
Hmm.
into American McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like destroying us from the inside. And plus,
More money.
people aren't doing anything, and it's like all on top of each other. It just creates like exactly those stuff that you said, like less aggressive, more submissive, friendly, always happy. That
But
makes
that's not
sense.
necessarily a bad thing to be more friendly and submissive because with that, there's gonna be
What are you, a
less
sub?
Bruh, who knows? It might be good because there's gonna be like in the future, people are gonna like the idea is that we're gonna have the perfect lifestyle, like the utopian thing, but in a way it's dystopian as well, like the Wall-E thing. Like there's gonna be a bunch of robots working for us and doing everything, but humans just like lived a good lifestyle, you know. Uh,
Not gonna lie, that's a
Technically,
good lifestyle. Just sit around.
but yeah, because then like the reason we'll become the like less aggressive submissives because the concept of famines, plagues, warfare it will all disappear, and we'll just like not want to do any conflicts, and that like anger in us will kind of like dial down, and we'll just want to be like, oh, let's like not try to cause any conflicts here. Let's just kind of let things slide, and that's like where the submissive parts comes in.
But the thing is, just by letting things slide, bad things are gonna happen, and then those bad stuff are not like you're not gonna be able to survive those bad stuff, and then the submissive people are gonna get wiped out.
I guess I don't know, but that just like who knows if that's actually going to happen, but scientists are saying that that's kind of where we're leading into with like our current
Well,
with
no,
the
that makes
current
sense in
life.
like the cycles. Like when Rome fell, everybody was probably a little more of that
Yeah, maybe.
than when Rome was getting built. And so it's just a cycle. I guess people were more submissive, and then they actually become like
Yeah.
harder men, I guess. But yeah, better men. That doesn't
Been
make
listing a
sense.
bunch of negatives though about our future.
It's not gonna
Apparently,
be me though. Ain't gonna be me though.
Well, you're not gonna be in the future,
Exactly.
and you're also not gonna reap the benefits of having a massive brain.
Actually, I'm not even lying. I'm gonna stay alive.
Aye.
Wait, we literally just talked about how they're gonna prolong life.
Maybe like 20 years. I'm not gonna
Thing
be able to
is-
prolong it for that long.
The thing is, by that time, like, there's gonna be already stuff like there's gonna be
Not
20 years of
forever.
advancements. There's a good advancements. Imagine every single cell getting replaced, but once, not at the same time, but at a time.
I don't think the technology is that good yet, or will
Not
be.
yet, but in
I
20
don't think it
years,
will be that good.
dude. AI. Have you seen AI? It expands like crazy. Like everything, the whole world is gonna expand like technologically.
Hopefully.
and scientifically, like, crazy fast. It's because okay, when they created the computer, like the further down it goes, the faster it advances.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just bound to happen. Like, I don't know.
No duh.
It might be our generation or maybe the next generation that gets to live forever, but it's gonna happen at some point.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
You know, well, anytime soon. It goes crazy. Like it goes from a.
We'll
it
see.
advances
We'll see what
to crazy.
happens.
Yeah, but yeah, of course.
But is that it? I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Well, thanks for listening, guys, watching, and see you guys next time. See ya.
Yep.